What's up, people, places, and things? This is your YouTube channel, Poke Arena, bringing you some more Pokemon trading card game online content. Today we're going to be playing an Inteleon VMAX deck. This is a really underrated deck, but a lot of people do play it. But honestly, a lot of people don't because it's so easily able to be knocked out by Pikarom. So we're going to be playing this deck and showing off that even though Pikarom can knock us pretty easily with its GX attack and with Alolan Raichu and Raichu, we have the attacks Max Bullet and Hydro Snipe to be able to spread damage with Max Bullet and then put our opponent behind an energy game with Hydro Snipe. We do play 2 Frosmoths in the deck to accelerate energy with the ability Ice Dance. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water type card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. And then we have the Capacious Bucket to search out our water energy, and then we play 4 Crushing Hammer to disrupt our opponent with the energy game as well. And then for Pokemon search, we play 2 Evolution Incense and then 4 Quick Balls. And something really cool that this deck uses a lot is the Super Scoop Up card. Flip a coin if heads, put one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your hand. And this is really cool because if our Inteleon VMAX is about to get knocked out, we just put it back into our hand, and then we're able to put up a Jirachi and then grab what we need to be able to put all the water energy back onto our Inteleon VMAX with Frosmoth. Other cards we play is Mallow Lana to heal our Pokemon. Then we play 4 Professor's Research, 2 Marnies, and 2 Boss's Orders. And we also play the Chaotic Swell, and the reason being is because you could play Training Court to get energy back, but I find Chaotic Swell is definitely better to disrupt our opponent from getting the type of stadium that they need. So with that, this is the deck, and let's just jump into a game. So we're up against our first opponent. It's looking like they're playing a fire deck, which is just what we'd like to see, playing a water deck. So this might be some easy gameplay here, but you know, you never know. Sometimes they can donk us, like what I assume they're going to be doing with a fire Blacephalon. So we're going to play down the Jirachi here and hold our Dedenne, and then we're going to see what our opponent has with the mulligan. It is looking like they're playing probably a welder deck over that, because I'd be surprised if they play. Well, we'll just have to actually see. They could have the switching for the bigger opponents, or bigger Pokemon in their deck. But we don't draw anything really special, but they're going to start with the Dedenne. We're just going to Stellar Wish right here and grab ourselves the Quick Ball. With the Quick Ball, we're going to discard a... I don't want a Dedenne this turn, honestly. So what we're going to do is we're going to Quick Ball away a Research and grab ourselves the Inteleon V and put down the Inteleon V, put the water energy there, and we're going to pass for the turn. I'm curious to see what our opponent does with that, but you know, they're definitely not liking the fact that we're playing a water deck. And they actually are playing Blacephalon. So I assume they play the Skateboard and the Air Balloon to retreat things like the Dedenne. But it's definitely not the best of hand when you start with a Dedenne. But sometimes that happens. That happens to me more than I like. And our opponent's actually just going to Marnie us. So with that, we do get a Chaotic Swell and a Crushing Hammer, as well as another water energy. I hope our Jirachi stays on the field though, but this is what I mean. Now we're able to play the Chaotic Swell and block and get rid of his Giant Hearth and then another one of his stadiums to really disrupt our opponent. But I'm curious to see what he can do here. I mean, he seems like he doesn't have the biggest hand, and he's actually attaching the Fire Energy to the Cramorant and just passing the turn. So we actually do get the Research here, which is nice. I'm going to bump the Stadium with Chaotic Swell, put another Inteleon V on the field, Crushing Hammer, hopefully get the heads, and we do. and then just Professor Research here. So we end up actually getting the Inteleon VMAX, which is nice. I think what we're going to do here is Stellar Wish and grab ourselves the boss's order. And then with that, now we're going to put down another Jirachi. We're going to scoop up our first Jirachi, and then just promote the Inteleon VMAX and place down our other Jirachi. And then we're just going to do some chip damage onto the Dedenne, because now we're able to knock it out with 2 max bullets if it's on the bench. But our opponent is definitely playing behind here, so it's not looking the best, but they're going to end up retreating that Dedenne, and I'm curious to see what exactly they're going to bring up, and they actually bring up the Cramorant. So now that they bring up the Cramorant, we're going to put down the water energy onto Inteleon VMAX, and we're going to boss's order up one of the Cephalon, and we're just going to max bullet and do some chip damage on the Dedenne. So we take the big knockout there, and we want to be getting something up like that Snom, which is nice. And now they put down the Cramorant, and they do attach a fire energy and another Blacephalon, and they're gonna beat catch here. So I'm not too upset about that. They definitely are gonna need a lot, but we're actually just gonna end up Marnieing them, so they're not gonna be too pleased with that. We're gonna Crushing Hammer here right off the bat. We do get the tails, but we're gonna place down Snom, and then we're gonna Mallow Lana his hand away, and hopefully prevent him from getting anything that he wanted. We're gonna attach a water energy onto the Inteleon V, and then we're just gonna max bullet here and knock out the Dedenne. So now we take a prize. We do just get a switch and a Frosmoth, which is really nice. So now we're able to evolve the Frosmoth and attach that water energy and possibly get a Dedenne with that on our next turn. So you can see this deck is really consistent, but our opponent's going to end up Weldering. They do actually Welder for 2, so that's really good on their part. I Marnied them into a good hand. And, you know, we're just going to have to see if they're even able to get some sort of donk, but I don't assume that they will. So now we see here that he's going to beat catch again, and he's definitely going to probably get what he needs for that. But I'm hoping that we can possibly get our other Marnie back into our hand. But we're just going to evolve the Snom here with the Frosmoth. We're going to Quick Ball away the Snom, grab ourselves a Dedenne. We're going to attach per turn. Then we're going to switch up here and scoop up net before we do anything. And we do actually see the Quick Ball here. And we're just going to kind of thin out our deck a little bit. Super scoop up the Jirachi. Promote our Inteleon VMAX. And put back down our Jirachi. And I think I'm going to Quick Ball away this and grab our last Jirachi to thin our deck out a little bit more. And then now play the Dedenne. And hopefully we get a Marnie in hand. We actually don't end up getting a Marnie in hand, but we do get the 2 energy from the bucket. We do see another Crushing Hammer. We're going to Crushing Hammer on from that Blacephalon. And now we're going to Ice Dance on some energy onto Inteleon V, which is really nice. So now we're going to just max bullet and deal some damage to the Blacephalon that has no energy onto it, because I expect him to promote the one that does, and we can get an easy knockout with that. But we only need to knock out one more Pokemon here, so I really I don't see them winning this match. So that's our first victory. Let's get on to the next match and show just how powerful this deck truly is. Maybe even a Malamar deck. It really is unknown at the time being. But we lose the coin flip. And our opponent decides to go first, so I assume they really either need that energy attachment or is playing Malamar. But we're going to put up the Jirachi here, and we're just going to leave it like that. And our opponent is playing some sort of dark deck, because they do have the Sneasel here. And that's some sick Sneasel art, I'm not going to lie, with Cyrus there. Make sure to check out the Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. There's some craziness happening right there on the channel. Definitely a sad Let's Play if you've seen some of the episodes already. But we're gonna quick ball. They're gonna quick ball and grab Umbreon and Darkrai, and yeah, we're gonna see them kind of dig through their deck with a Pokegear right now, and they're gonna grab the Marnie. So we're definitely gonna Marnie away their Marnie, which is nice, but we're gonna place down both Inteleon Vs. We're gonna place down the Chaotic Swell. We're gonna put a Water Energy there, and I think we're gonna just Marnie away our switches right now. I'm not kind of looking to really do much with that, but we're gonna put down the Snom, and now we're gonna Stellar Wish, and we're gonna grab ourselves the bucket to get some energy onto our side of the field. We're gonna play the bucket right now. Even if we get Marnie, it is what it is. But I want to thin through our deck so we can get a nice top draw here. And then I think we're gonna actually, let's see. Yeah, let's scoop up net the Jirachi and play a little aggressive. I'm gonna put down the Inteleon V there, and now I'm gonna snipe shot the Sneasel. So we're gonna have to see what our opponent does to combat that. I do assume they play the red and blue, but which they will grab with the tag call right now. And which, well, that's what I have to assume, because that's what these dark decks like to do, is have the energy acceleration with the Weavile and the red and blue, so that's what they do. They're going to be grabbing that and evolving onto the Sneasel. And yeah, this is a dark box we're going against, which is really interesting. And then they grab that up, so which is really cool is Weavile is now on 160 HP left, but our opponent's able to kind of retreat one, switch that energy up, and do some big damage with that. So I'm really hoping for an Evolution Incense here, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna just have to kind of wait to see what our opponent does. But they're just gonna Black Lance, and now we're gonna have to see what we get. So we actually only top draw the Water Energy, so I'm gonna attach the Water Energy here. I'm gonna try scoop up netting the Inteleon V, but it doesn't end up working. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna snipe shot onto the Weavile and just do some chip damage there. Definitely not the best start, but it is what it is. And now our opponent is playing the Greninja Zoroark, trying to get all that dark energy up. But he's going to Black Lance for the knock, and he's going to get 2 prize cards, which isn't the worst, because we are now going to try to not get our 1 prizers really knocked out that much, but it is what it is. And now we're just going to have to see what we draw here. So we do end up getting a Quick Ball. I'm going to Stellar Wish before I Quick Ball to see what we kind of grab. And we do end up getting the Professor's Research. So what I think I'm going to do here is Quick Ball away a Water Energy and grab ourselves a Jirachi. And then we're going to attach a Water Energy onto Inteleon V. And then we're going to Professor's Research away our hand. And this is nice. So we get the Inteleon V right here. And we do get ourselves some other Pokemon that we can grab. So I'm going to grab the Snom, throw away the Snom, and grab ourselves a Zigzagoon. And now we're going to put a damage counter onto, let me do some math here, onto the Weavile. And then we're going to switch into our other Jirachi and Dedenne change here. So we don't end up getting the Evolution Incense. Let's see if we can get it here, but no, we just fail it. It's just really unfortunate. We're gonna grab ourselves the Professors, and we're going to do a lot of Crushing Hammers here. So we do fail that Crushing Hammer. We do not fail that one. So we're gonna take an energy away from there, and then what we're gonna do is switch into the Inteleon VMAX and Hydro Snipe it, getting rid of one of its energy here and really kind of putting our opponent behind in the energy game. So as you can see, even though we're behind on prizes, we really just kind of put our opponent down a little bit. Our opponent is going to have the ability to switch off that energy back onto the Zoroark, excuse me, the Umbreon and Darkrai, if they need be. But now they're going to put down the Lysandre Labs, but we don't play any tools in this deck. So we're just going to throw down another Chaotic Swell and honestly just see what happens here. How many energy do we have in the discard pile? 3. So we're doing okay with that. They're going to switch the dark energy onto the Darkrai. And I'm curious to see what they do here with their attachment, whether they grab, you know, just to see what they do. But they do end up getting the Cynthia and Caitlyn. And I'm curious, what I was going to say is I'm curious to see if they did the Black Lance or that, but they're actually just going to do that instead. And we do get the Evolution Incense, which is really nice, so we're going to put the Frosmoth down. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to Mallow and Lana and switch our active Pokemon, get rid of the Chaotic Swell, get rid of the Quick Ball, and promote one of our Jirachi. And then hopefully we get something like a Capacious Bucket, and that's what we're going to grab. And now we're going to grab the 2 Water Energy, put the Water Energy there, and save the other one for something in the future. But definitely am afraid of getting our Dedenne knocked out, but we should be okay if we don't play any more of those. But maybe we can get a super scoop up with our Professor's Research. And it's this deck really revolves around a lot of luck-based things too. But it is kind of what it is at that point as well. I'm very curious to see what our opponent grabs with the Pokemon Communication, and they're actually going to grab the Darkrai. So they're really trying to accelerate that dark energy. Excuse me. And they're going to Pokegear here, and I assume look for, well, I guess they grab the Research there, and they're going to end up having to bench that Darkrai, because I assume they don't want to get rid of it. You know what they say about assuming. Don't do it. So our opponent's just going to Cynthia and Caitlyn, discard the red and blue to grab a Mallow and Lana. So they're really going to be trying to heal off some damage here. And our opponent's got a really big hand, which is very scary. But they're going to end up putting the dark energy on the Greninja and Zoroark. And I assume just getting the knock with Black Lance and dealing some more damage onto the Dedenne. So now we gotta think about what we want to do here. So what I assume we're gonna do is, so we can do a couple things here. So what I'm actually gonna do here is Boss's Order up the Weavile. And now we're going to max Bullet to deal some damage onto the Umbreon and Darkrai. And then now we're able to get some prizes here. We do get a Super Scoop Up. We do get a Water Energy. But I am afraid of the Well, actually, I'm not too afraid, because if we get a scoop up net, we can put down the Zigzagoon onto the Poipole and then just get the knock with Max Bullet. So I don't see them getting able to knock on my Inteleon VMAX, but I'm trying to really see all of my opponent's options here. I guess what they could do is promote up a Jirachi, Frosmoth, or Zigzagoon with the boss's order and then get the knockout with the Dedenne. So if they have the boss's order in hand, that's what they're really trying to do here. And they do that. So it's a little unfortunate that that happened, but they're going to get the KO there. That's going to be well played. That was a really close match. We could have won it just in the next turn, but as you can see, we didn't. But it is what it is, so let's just jump into our last match of the episode. On to our last match of the video. I'm curious to see what our opponent is playing. They could be playing a Nuzzle deck, which would kind of hurt us. We did end up having an opponent just quit off of a bad hand, so I cut that out of the video. But we're going to go for heads, and we do get the coin flip win. And we're going to go first here. So we're going to see what our opponent does, but we don't get the best start here, which is unfortunate. But we're just going to place down the Zigzagoon, and then quick ball away a, I guess, Marnie, and grab ourselves an Inteleon V, and then attach the water energy onto our Inteleon V, and then Dedenne away the hand. And we actually do end up getting the scoop up net, which is nice, but we're gonna actually no, we're not gonna say that. We're gonna scoop up net the Zigzagoon and place down the Jirachi right there. And now we're going to Stellar Wish here, and we actually end up getting a Evolution Incense, which is nice, because then we're able to evolve our Pokemon in the next turn. But I'm going to save it just in case our opponent does end up Marnieing us. So our opponent's playing ADP right now. I'm curious to see what build they're playing around ADP. It could just be Zacian, ADP, and Dedenne, I guess, in their deck. So I'm very, very curious to see what they're doing there. And they do put the water energy there, and they're going to Cynthia away their hand. And we're going to have to see what our opponent does from here on out. Our opponent does quick ball here, and they get rid of the Jasmine. So that's they're playing a really interesting deck build here, and they're going to grab the Zacian. And they're probably just going to Intrepid Sword after that, because they don't have any metal in the discard pile, and like I said, they're just going to Intrepid Sword. And let's see if they grab any Steel Energy, but they do not end up doing that. So now we're going to Evolution Incense here and grab ourselves a Inteleon VMAX. We're going to put down the Inteleon VMAX. Then we're going to put a Water Energy on there. And what we're going to do here is we're going to Zigzagoon onto the Zacian and Crushing Hammer and hope for the best there, but we don't end up getting it. We are going to Stellar Wish here and grab ourselves another Crushing Hammer. And we're going to Crushing Hammer away and get the heads. And now we're going to switch into Inteleon VMAX. And now we're going to try to super scoop up our Dedenne, which we end up doing, which is really nice. Then we're just going to Dedenne away our hand. And we do end up getting another Inteleon V and a Snom, so that is really nice. And now we're going to Hydro Snipe for some chip damage. So we did end up getting a really nice turn right there. It's unfortunate we didn't draw into a Water Energy, but it's not too bad. It could be worse. And our opponent is sitting here now. Well, what the heck do I do? I'm really curious to see what they do, but they're gonna have to get some energy switches, get some metal saucers, get a Water Energy onto the field, and I don't think they're very happy with that. And I guess this can kind of just show how much we can disrupt our opponent. But they're gonna just manually attach the Steel Energy onto the ADP. And I don't see our opponent playing out the whole match with the game state that they're in, but they very well could. And they're gonna boss's order up the Snom and try to disrupt us a little bit, but you know, they're not going to be able to do much. I'm curious to see if they just alter Creation GX here, and they actually do end up doing that. So now we're just going to evolve the Snom here. And we're going to switch into our Inteleon VMAX and put down the Inteleon VMAX there. And now we're just going to Hydro Snipe and put the Steel Energy back into their hand, because we don't want them powering up anything. But honestly, that could have helped our opponent out a little bit too, but we'll just have to wait and see. I really wish we did get the water energy. The water energy, so we could max Bullet. I'm actually going to put the metal goggles down and search for a trainer with Skyla. So they're going to grab the Quick Ball here, and I assume they're going to grab a Zamazenta, because we are playing VMAXs. But if they end up doing that, they're going to have to kind of get that metal goggles up. And they do end up grabbing the Zamazenta here. And I think what we're going to do here is kind of target the Zacian with some Hydro Snipes. But I really wish we had more of, I don't know, more energy on our side of the field. But we're gonna boss's order up the Inteleon. We're gonna Hydro Snipe it and do some more chip damage there. It does only end up doing 30, but you know, I'd rather get the chip damage down off now while we can. And our opponent can definitely win this match, but so can we. It's just unfortunate we don't have the energy. They're going to actually Marnie here, which is good for us. And I'm hoping to draw into a water energy, which we end up doing. And now we can do some magic here with Max Bullet and with, you know, just our Capacious Bucket. So we're going to end up doing the water attachment there. Then we're going to bucket twice here and just power up our other Inteleon VMAX. So now we're going to Ice Dance here and put down all the water energy onto our Inteleon VMAX. Or at least 3 of them. I think we're just going to do 3 for the time being. And stop it there. And then we're going to Max Bullet here and deal 60 damage to the Dedenne. Because if we get the Dedenne and the Zacian knocked out, then we're able to do some good damage with that. And we do have both bosses' orders prized, which is unfortunate. But, you know, we can still definitely win this game without the boss's orders. They're going to Power Plant here, and Professors research their hand away. They actually end up playing Capacious in this deck as well. But they're really kind of looking for a switch here, or yeah, just they're looking for a switch. They really need that switch, but they're going to place down the Metal Frying Pan, which is kind of nice, because now we can put damage counters on the Zamazenta V if need be. But they're just going to Intrepid Sword here, and with that, I definitely think we're going to get game, because now we're going to able to knock out the Zacian, and we're just going to Chaotic Swell there. And we're going to Max Bullet here and knock out the Dedenne. And now we're going to be able to take 3 prizes here. So we do get a Super Scoop Up, which is really nice. We get the Quick Ball. And then we get the Professor's Research. And we also get a Switch. So now we only need 2 prizes to get taken away for the time being. I don't see us kind of being able to knock out this Zamazenta, but We do have the super scoop up, which is really cool. And I think what we're going to do is try to super scoop up our Inteleon VMAX. But we're just going to have to wait and see what our opponent does here. They are going to play the Cynthia and Caitlyn. And Cynthia and Caitlyn's something I thought about playing in this deck as well. But they're going to grab the Marnie here and grab more cards in their hand. And just kind of disrupt us a little bit. And with that Assault Tackle, we're going to take 160 damage. But what we're going to try to do here is Super Scoop Up. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to Super Scoop Up, and we do get it. So we put the Inteleon V and all that water energy into our hand. We're going to place down the Inteleon V, and now we're going to Ice Dance and put on the water energy where we need it. And we're going to pass with that, and now we're going to end up just max bulleting and dealing damage to the ADP because they do block all damage there. So they end up having another Zacian on the field, and I do wish we kind of had that ability to play down another boss's order, but it is what it is. So we're just going to have to kind of wait and see what our opponent does with that. And now our opponent's thinking, and they're going to end up Assault Tackling again. So now if I had to do some math here, I'm curious to see if we just try to max bullet again. But it is going to leave our opponent kind of a little low. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Scoop Up Net. We're going to place down a Zigzagoon counter onto the ADP and do that again with Zigzagoon. And now we're going to bring that up to 200. We do need a little bit more damage here, but so I'm going to quick ball the Jirachi here and kind of like search through my deck. And we do only have, well, we have a Super Scoop Up and a Scoop Up Net here. So I don't love that. What we're going to do here is we're going to switch into the Inteleon V. And then we're going to Aqua Report and deal 100 damage there. And our opponent has the Faba, the Chaotic Swell. So they got a lot of different things going on right now. But our opponent's just going to do that. And it might have been a misplay on my part, but I really don't see us being able to do the 2 Zigzagoons onto the ADP. But they aren't going to get a knockout on our Inteleon V unless they switch into the Zacian. Our opponent's just going to Cynthia away their hand though. And this is a very interesting match, honestly. So they're just going to Assault Tackle here. So I think that was honestly a misplay on our opponent's part. Because now what we're able to do is we're able to Inteleon VMAX here. And really kind of just Frosmoth here to save our energy. And put it onto our VMAX. Now we're going to Professor's Research here. And so we end up grabbing the Super Scoop Up Net, so I'm curious to see if we do get the heads, and we do get the heads. So we're going to put the Zigzagoon counter onto the ADP there. We're going to Scoop Up Net the Zigzagoon one more time and put the damage counter on the ADP again. And now we're just going to max bullet and hopefully that they don't play the Mallow Lana. but you know, if we do get one more max bullet off, then we do end up winning the game. And I think just this shows how powerful this deck is and how underplayed it is. If you really practice a lot with this deck, you're able to get some crazy combos off, especially with 4 scoop up nets in the deck. And I think it's important to play 4 because of the ability to be able to fail them with a coin flip. But our opponent's just going to put the escape board on the Zacian, and I don't see them being able to knock out enough to win the game this turn, even if they research. But now they're gonna Mallow and Lana here. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. They're gonna Mallow and Lana. And yep, that's what they end up doing. So that is a little unfortunate there. It's very unfortunate. And they're just going to knock out our Inteleon VMAX, which is not what we like to see, even a little bit. So they're going to get the 260 damage there. But now what we're going to do is promote our Inteleon VMAX. We're going to Mallow and Lana ourselves here. We're going to switch and discard the Chaotic Swell and the Research and promote our Jirachi. And now with the Jirachi, we're going to grab the switch. We're going to switch into the Inteleon VMAX, and now we're going to max bullet here and deal 60 damage to the Zamazenta V. But oh, actually that doesn't affect. My bad. That was a misplay on my part. So now our opponent really here is in a pickle because I don't think they can knock out the Inteleon VMAX. And if they switch Zacian to the bench, they're just going to get knocked with the max bullet. But our opponent really needs to get a huge attack off here, but they're only really able to kind of deal 260, bring me to 300 HP. But I think what they're going to do here is try to retreat. But if they had a different type of tool on this Zacian, then it definitely would have been a different game. But I'm pretty sure we're just going to win the game here, because they're going to assault tackle here, but we're going to take our 2 prizes. I'm going to give them the heart because that was a really good game. And now we're just going to max bullet and attack the Zacian, knock the Zacian, and that's going to be game. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm glad that I could show off some interesting games with Inteleon VMAX. And definitely make sure to leave a like and comment down below what your favorite Oricorio form is. If you end up wanting to give any suggestions, please feel free in any of my outlets of social media, including my email. Make sure to stay safe and peace out, my nouns.